So all 10 teams have played one match each, and there have been last over thrillers, and there has also been a lot of drama as expected. So I asked, let's just get the most controversial game out of the way first. Gujarat Titans under new captain Shubman Gill took on Mumbai Indians under new captain Hardik Pandya, and there was this unsavory reception for Hardik at Ahmedabad. There was a dog on the field at some point, and there was a lot of anger online about Hardik Pandya's mistreatment of Rohitsharma, and there have also been a couple of Rohit fans online I saw who were secretly happy that Bombay lost that game. So, I mean, we know that Mumbai Indians usually lose the first game and then go on to get more serious towards the end of the tournament. But do you see any trouble brewing, or is this just outside noise?
No, I think, unless there's really some hard evidence, I think it would be just speculative. And, this is something that social media thrives on. So I would kind of desist from reading too much into what is being kind of, going around, whether he is not in sync with Rohit or Rohit is not in sync with him. I think they're all very hard-boiled professionals. And look, I mean, Rohit has been captain. He knows what it takes to be captain, especially of a high-profile marquee team like Mumbai Indians. Never easy. And Hardik has also, tasted both highs and lows as a player and now as a player, as a captain. So I think the real crux is for Mumbai Indians is that they lost a match which they should have won. I think that's something that should be bothering them more than anything else. And certainly it should be bothering Hardik Pandya, because I think his dismissal, the way it came at the time at which it came, was the turning point in many ways. And also I still wonder whether he should have batted so low down in the order and not come up a little higher when you had everything going for you. So I think those are issues that Mumbai Indians have to address, especially Hardik.
Yes, and anything that took your eye with Gill's captaincy?
I think he kept his focus despite the dog playing, being naughty on the field for quite a long time actually. Held up play,
Yeah.
because that is the time when you can, get distracted. And I think Gill was very sound. I'm not saying tactically, but very sound in terms of temperament. It's not easy leading a team for the first time, and then that too against somebody who's leading a team who's your ex-captain, and you know everything about him. You know how look. Hardik has won a title for Gujarat Titans and reached the final in the second season. So I'm sure there's a lot of respect and mutual respect and understanding that Shubman Gill has. But what I liked about him was that he could, he never looked grim and downcast even when Mumbai were going great guns. He had a little bit of almost like a sardonic smile on his face to say, these are things that I have to get used to, because this is the topsy-turvy of T20 cricket. I think that's a great state of mind to be in. It's a lovely space to be in as a captain.
Yeah. And talking of unsavory receptions, we go from unsavory to wholesome when we saw a standing ovation for Rishabh Pant. And he did look rusty, a bit rusty, which is fair enough. But it's really good to see him back on the field, right?
Oh, it is. And he's been out for a very long time and coming back from a very serious injury. So on both counts, when you look at, there is a lot of courage involved. Let's accept it. He's a young man, I know, so recovery is that much quicker. But even so, this kind of an injury can, be devastating. It could completely take your mind away from the sport. That has not happened. He's come back. He's fit enough to play. He's led the team. He's kept wickets. There were, stories whether he will do one or the other, not all the aspects of the job, but he did all. The fact that he didn't score too many runs, I think is, and that he couldn't lead his team to win, is something that he has to work on, especially along with his players and his coach. But I think his presence already sends a very strong signal to his team. And now if ultimately your bat has to do the talking. It's not the press conferences that you do or the reels you put out on Instagram that are going to tell the world at large where you stand. I think it's now Rishabh Pant's opportunity is to go out there and make a statement with the bat. And remember, it's very important for him because he's one amongst a clutch of wicket keepers. I thought I think we've discussed this. 5-6 of them staking a claim to be in the team. And so Rishabh Pant is not going to be having a cakewalk to get into the team, even if he makes runs. So he has to make a huge number of runs.
Yep. Now I want to talk about this curious CSK phenomenon. In the first match, we saw CSK beating RCB. But I wanted to focus on Mustafizur Rahman, who's been in the IPL, who started playing in the IPL in 2016 and has been off color for the past couple of seasons. But we've seen this time and again when someone's been written off and then they come to CSK and all of a sudden they've rediscovered their mojo. There's sort of a resurrection. But I mean, it's too early to say that this is a resurrection because it's only one game and the pitch might have assisted him, or it may be a one-off. But he took 4 wickets and became man of the match. So how do you explain this general getting back its mojo under Dhoni?
No, I think it's, to me it's very clear. See, one is that he's a class act as a bowler. I mean, we've seen that over the years for Bangladesh and for teams that he's played. The only thing is he's had an up and down career. Now you get into a team like CSK, and that's where you have to kind of acknowledge whether we like it or not. And we can say, it doesn't work like that. But it has in CSK's case, whether it's Ajinkya Rahane or Shivam Dubey or Moeen Ali. And we've talked about so many players in the past who've come good with the culture in CSK, especially with Dhoni as captain. He's no longer the captain, but he's still around, and the culture exists. So if that has helped Mustafizur, I think he'll be beholden to the franchise for getting him back, so to speak, on in the under focus and in the spotlight. But as you mentioned, it's just been one game. For a player and for the team to really do well, they have to have sustained success over 7-8 weeks. And priority, of course, is to qualify for the playoffs and then thereafter to try and to win the title. But if you got such a good start, then obviously it boosts your confidence manifold.
Yeah. And lastly, now that all teams have played one match each, we've seen the big hits from the big boys like Heinrich Klaasen and Andre Russell. And we've seen some exceptional bowling, especially from Jasprit Bumrah against Gujarat Titans. But these are sort of the established players and you expect them to deliver. But who among the younger lot has caught your eye, Ayaz?
I mean, the two young captains did quite well, isn't it? Ruturaj Gaikwad and Shubman Gill both won their first matches. Didn't do too much with the bat, neither of them, but they did extremely well as to hold their nerve and then go on to lead their teams to win. I thought that apart from the Mumbai Indians Gujarat Titans match, which was a humdinger, even the KKR versus Sunrisers Hyderabad was a thrilling match, and I think it tells us something about one of the teams which I didn't kind of project to be in the playoffs was KKR, but I have had to make a hasty revision because I had thought that SRH would be one of the 4 teams, but SRH need to learn to win. You can't get. Okay, yes, you were in a bad position, you get into a winning position, and then if you don't win, needing 7 runs or 4 deliveries or something like that, and you make a hash of it, it doesn't reflect well. Where it reflects well for KKR is that they held their nerve, and they have got a batting lineup which is, packed with stroke players. I mean, someone like a Rinku Singh is batting 7 or sometimes 8. They've got Andre Russell, they've got Nitish Rana, they've got Sunil Narayan at the top who can strike a few mighty blows. A good spin attack, very, very threatening in when they play at the Eden Garden. So I think that, but the team which also impressed me a lot, and because they've got a lot of youngsters, is Rajasthan Royals. I thought that it's a team which is looking very good. Sanju Samson is the guy who impressed me as captain as well as batsman. So he's amongst all these young Indian players, so to speak. Shubman Gill, Ruturaj Gaikwad, Tilak Verma, Sai Sudarshan, I think, had a very good match for Gujarat Titans. The guy who's been, in a sense, the most impressive because he made the runs and he made his team win was Sanju Samson.
And there you have it, like all teams have played one match each, as I've been saying. So the IPL is truly underway and we'll keep bringing in the action in the coming days. So that's it for this episode of Sports Room. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks. Good catching up.